Good morning, everybody. My name is McCorry and I'm with Tourism Northern Ireland. My job here this morning really is just to set the scene for others who are actually going to speak with you about the screen tourism opportunity in Northern Ireland. So in setting the scene, what I'd just like to say is this is essentially all about the business of attracting visitors. That's the business that we're all in. But I think collectively we'd recognise that the business of attracting visitors is certainly a very complex one. There's lots of success factors and interdependencies that come to play in that. Some are within our control, others not so much, weather, exchange rates, etc. But fundamentally, collectively, the job of everyone in this room, everyone at the conference, is to make sure that we fully exploit all of the pull factors that ultimately combine to make our tourism industry so successful. So one of the pull factors that we're here to examine this morning is the pull factor of film and television. Now, this is otherwise known as screen tourism, film-induced tourism, movie-induced tourism, TV tourism, but fundamentally it's still about the business of attracting visitors to Northern Ireland, but the way that we do it is through the portrayal of Northern Ireland on screen. And to be honest, this business, screen tourism, film-induced tourism, it's a very big business and it's a very serious business. And actually the UK Screen Council and Oxford Economics suggest that 1 out of every 10 visitors that are attracted to the UK come so because of a film or TV screen production. And more importantly, they're actually contributing about 1.8 billion to the UK economy per year. So TV and film fans, they're highly motivated to visit TV and production locations. So this is certainly a complex but a very serious business as well. And why would they not come to Northern Ireland? Why not, whenever you look at the very compact landscape that we have here and the myriad of heritage assets, architecture, coastlines, etc. But instead of putting words up, I'd like to show you a short film that has been given to us by NI Screen. Thank you very much, Maura. And it really does showcase Northern Ireland and all of the assets that we have and why it is fastly becoming a very sought-after film location. So you can see there the backdrop that was Northern Ireland, and it certainly served us very well in some of the movies that you can see there. And in terms of actually looking at screen tourism then, it brings in massive benefits for Northern Ireland, and you'll hear this really as the seminar unfolds. It is an advertisement in itself, and it's an attractive and beneficial marketing tool that really money can't buy. And what it is really doing is enhancing the awareness and the general image of Northern Ireland. And it's important to understand that it's not just the jet setters, as they're known as, who will come here specifically to see where the film production that they so love has been filmed. It's very important for general tourists as well. And we're beginning to see this in terms of the ultimate increase in the visitor numbers, but more specifically, the new opportunities for innovation and collaboration throughout the industry. But there's no doubt about it that in terms of the actual benefits that a destination can reap, the success of the production and the exposure of production is inextricably linked to the success of the location. And it's the difference in terms of maybe just short-term tourism revenue that can be generated through putting up the film crew while they're here on location, right the way through to the potential long-term prosperity for the destination. So in terms of the spectrum of innovations that you can potentially see, you can have the film crew location when they're here, but as the film and the success starts to build, that's where you begin to see the opportunities for interpretive signage at film locations, for themed immersive visitor experiences and location tours, themed package breaks, right the way up to some permanent legacy experiences. And you'll hear Visit Britain talk a wee bit more about that later on. But never before has the opportunity for us been greater in terms of actual real long-term prosperity than it is with Game of Thrones. Because Game of Thrones was shot on location in Titanic Studios and also the Linen Mill in Banbridge, but it has utilised a lot of the spectacular locations right across Northern Ireland. Game of Thrones has been broadcast in more than 70 countries, and it's one of the most popular and successful fantasy TV series ever made. It's watched by almost 18 million. And season 4 was the fastest selling box office set in the UK in the last 10 years. And a stat that they're also very proud of is that the illegal downloads were over 10 million in 2013. So this is hugely, hugely successful, and presents a real massive opportunity for Northern Ireland. And you can see here the scale of the opportunity in terms of the real Westeros, which is Game of Thrones territory. And it starts off really up there in the North Antrim coast. It goes down the whole eastern seaboard and finishes off there in Fermanagh. So you can see the scale of the opportunity. It has really, truly utilised Northern Ireland. And what you actually can see here then is some of the opportunities that we have capitalised on. The top slide there is the Coyle River in Downpatrick that becomes the River Run, and the jetty that you see there was purpose-built, and it has actually been left behind by HBO, creating almost a stage or a platform for anyone who wants to reenact or innovate in terms of an opportunity there. There is an interpretive panel that has been put in there as well, so people can actually see the original purpose of the jetty. Below that then is Ballintoy Harbour, which is Ballintoy Harbour by day, and it becomes Pike, the Iron Islands, whenever Game of Thrones are in town. And you see the character there, Theon Greyjoy in situ. And there has been an interpretive panel, as you can see there, put in place by Moyle District Council in partnership with ourselves and HBO to really tell the Game of Thrones story. So as well as that, then, we had the opportunity to host the Game of Thrones exhibition in 2013 and 2014. And this was a real massive opportunity. We co-hosted it with Belfast City Council, ourselves and NI Screen. And there were over 11 tickets sold in a 2-hour period for the exhibition. And 24% of visitors who came were actually out of state. And it achieved a PR value of 2.9 million. And direct spend generated by the event in excess of 700,000. So the opportunity and the benefit was very, very real. But it hasn't stopped there in terms of the opportunity. It has actually been picked up by our industry, and you'll hear a little bit more about that in terms of the Winterfell experience specifically that is on offer, and one of the tours as well that is operated by McCorry. But beyond that, actually some of our businesses here have really benefited from this opportunity as well. Steenson's the jeweller is the preferred jewellery maker for the show, and they've made very specific pieces of jewellery that have played pivotal roles in the show. They've also utilised local swordsmiths as well, so the opportunity is beyond just the very Game of Thrones specific tourism type experience, and we're very much aware that there are others in the pipeline, and who knows what might spark your interest and opportunity here this morning. So from our perspective, Tourism NI are really doing our bit to capitalise on this opportunity. We're very, very active in our social and digital media marketing, and certainly as well we have got microsites plus blogs and competitions, etc., primarily around Game of Thrones and Dracula Untold. We're also beginning to support more festivals in terms of those who really want to celebrate the magic of film and the stories that are told here. We also really are working hard to utilise all our screen tourism legends as ambassadors. You'll see the chair there for James Nesbitt, who's hopefully going to be joining us soon. And we've also used Liam Neeson, even in our own campaigns, to actually sell his home of Northern Ireland. And on a weekly basis, we are being inundated by the media who are looking for opportunities for interviews or for farm trips. But the point here today is that this is really presenting a massive, massive opportunity for potentially everyone in this room. But we're here today to listen and to hear from others, and in a moment we're going to hear from Tourism Ireland, whose role it really is to take this opportunity to GB and overseas. We'll then hear from McCombs and Clear Sky, who are some of the industries or the people on the ground who have actually capitalised on this and put actual experiences in place. But we're also here to learn, so Visit Britain are going to speak at the end in terms of how they are capitalising on a much wider opportunity that is on offer in the UK. So with that, I'll hand over to Brian Tomey, and he's the Head of Marketing for Tourism Ireland. And one of the most recent success stories that he has had has been working with HBO in the upcoming Season 4. And he described this as an outstanding opportunity to showcase Northern Ireland's beautiful and dramatic scenery, whilst connecting with the passionate audience of one of the biggest TV shows in the world. So due to his close connection with HBO and Game of Thrones, we're delighted to have Brian here today.